So I'd like to what I know about near-death experiences and this notion that at the point of death, our brains flood with a huge dose of dimethyltryptamine, i.e. DMT. What I suspect happens at our death or while we're dying is that we go on a massive DMT trip. And what I know also about trips on psychedelic drugs is that they can be good trips or they can be bad trips. It can be terrifying. And usually the people who experience bad trips, they're, I think, probably flawed in some way, or they have some like personal shortcoming, or they have something they're guilty about on their minds. And I'm just thinking now that all the bad stuff you've done in your life, it doesn't go away, does it? It sits in the unconscious mind. It sits, you know, in our unconscious, in our memories, or we just don't think about it, and we just go on in our lives doing bad things. Like it'll catch up with you in the end when you die. I'm pretty certain. So, this ostensible myth of heaven and hell, I'm not certain there's actually nothing in that. I'm pretty certain there is something in that actually, and that when we die, it's like yeah, it will come back because the DMT trip, psychedelic experience, it opens your unconscious and all that stuff like that you're suppressing and ignoring and failing to account for in your life. That's all going to come flooding back when you die. And you're going to hell if you've done bad things. And you're just trying to go around like ignoring it, still trying to fuck people over to get your own life. It's like, do you want to go through that? Like DMT trips, they're the most intense psychedelic experience you can have. For better or worse, one way or another, we're going on a hell of a ride when we die. I'm pretty certain. And ride could be a lovely thing. It'd be like enlightenment, possibly. And maybe like just a touch of something like full understanding for a brief moment. Union with the cosmos and what have you. Or I suspect it can be something punishing, awful, and terrifying. Because it happens also when we dream. You ever had a bad nightmare? Imagine that like times 10,000 in terms of its lucidity and reality. And dreams can be very real, of course, or feel very real when we're in them. So if you want to die, like, and have that happen to you, continue doing bad things. Maybe like a taste for the macabre or whatever. But if you don't address your conscience and try to, I think, because it only comes down to yourself. It's not God punishing you necessarily, unless you take God to be the universe and you're part of the universe, hence you're part of God and so on. In which case, I suppose it is God punishing you. It is ultimately like your own mind, your own brain punishing you at the point of death for something you could have done something so much better. You wasted it. Here's your final kicking, and like all the bad shit gonna cook up like the worst experience for you possible when you die. And and so it's not such a bad thing, I think, that bad things happen to good people. Well, it is a bad thing that bad things happen to good people, but I mean, bad things happen to everyone, although good things happen to bad people in life, since I think we'll all get punished by our unconscious at the point of death. And ideally taking DMT prior to death as a sort of like training for death, and as a means of approaching our own conscience and being able to work with that and approaching our own unconscious minds and the guilt in our minds. I think that's a very valuable experience. Certainly a very good reason for DMT being legal. So yeah, it's like you were going to hell. Have you done bad things? So it all does sort of end up being just in the end, I reckon. Thank you. Bye.